Stay alert and prepare. The narcissist will be back. Don't let your guard down. Have you ever thought you were finally free from a narcissist, only to find them creeping back into your life when you least expected it? It's a chilling realization that just when you feel safe, the narcissist finds a way to re-enter, testing your boundaries and attempting to regain control. But why do they always come back? What fuels their relentless need to return, even after you've moved on and fortified your emotional walls? In this video, we'll explore the compelling reasons why narcissists make their way back into your life. We'll uncover the psychological patterns that drive their behavior and offer insights into how you can protect yourself. By the end, you'll not only understand the tactics they use, but also have the tools to keep them at bay. So, stay with us as we dive deep into this essential topic and uncover the truth about why narcissists can't seem to let go. Before we jump in, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with anyone who might need this information. Together, we can create a community of empowerment and resilience. Now, let's get started. Narcissists are skilled manipulators who excel at maintaining control over others. Their return to your life is never an act of spontaneity or random chance. It's a carefully calculated move. They thrive on the illusion of being irreplaceable and indispensable, constructing a narrative in which their presence is central to your well-being. When they sense that their influence over you is slipping or fading, they activate a well-practiced strategy to regain that control. This strategy often comes cloaked in emotional appeals, such as a heartfelt plea for reconciliation or a dramatic declaration of self-improvement. The key to protecting yourself from falling into their trap lies in understanding the motivations driving their actions and staying vigilant to recognize the unmistakable signs of their return. Initially, the narcissist may present themselves as deeply remorseful, expressing sorrow and claiming they've had a profound realization about their past mistakes. They might promise that they've undergone a transformation, that they're finally ready to be the person you've hoped they could be. This display can be incredibly persuasive, especially if you're someone who naturally wants to believe in the goodness of others. Yet, beneath this seemingly genuine facade lies a calculated agenda. Their return is rarely, if ever, rooted in genuine love, regret, or a desire to make amends. Instead, it's driven by a need to regain the control they lost when you began to distance yourself from their toxic influence. Every word they say and every gesture they make is strategically designed to reignite the emotional attachment that keeps you tied to their power. To truly understand their behavior, it's crucial to recognize that narcissists view relationships not as mutual connections based on love or respect, but as transactional arrangements. For them, every interaction is about what they can extract or gain. When you choose to detach yourself from their influence, they don't feel the pain of losing you as a person. They experience the discomfort of losing the power they once wielded over you. This loss is intolerable for them, not because they care about you, but because their fragile sense of self-worth is heavily dependent on external validation. Your absence threatens their carefully constructed identity, so they return, not out of concern for your well-being, but because they cannot bear the idea of someone else occupying the role they believe only they deserve. Their timing is another hallmark of their manipulative nature. Narcissists don't just return randomly. They wait for the most opportune moment to reinsert themselves into your life. Often, they monitor your circumstances from a distance, waiting for signs of vulnerability. Perhaps you're navigating a particularly challenging period, such as a loss, a breakup, or a significant change in your life that leaves you feeling uncertain or overwhelmed. Alternatively, they might notice you thriving, building a new career, forming healthier relationships, or stepping into your own power, and their return is an attempt to disrupt your progress. Their reappearance is rarely coincidental. It's carefully timed to exploit your emotional state, whether you're in need of support or basking in newfound happiness. Narcissists are masters at exploiting situations to their advantage, and they are incredibly adept at reading people's emotions. When they sense vulnerability, they seize the opportunity to manipulate your feelings, often appearing as a source of comfort or stability. This can make their return feel almost serendipitous, as though they've come back into your life at just the right time. However, this is part of their calculated approach. They know exactly how to position themselves as someone you might be tempted to trust again, especially when your defenses are down. On the other hand, if they sense that you're thriving, their return may take on a different tone, characterized by subtle undermining tactics designed to shake your confidence and derail your progress. They may mask their jealousy with concern, or use passive-aggressive comments to make you question your choices. What's most insidious about their return is how they manipulate your memories and emotions. They may remind you of the good times you shared, conveniently omitting the pain they caused. They rely on your capacity for empathy, forgiveness, and hope to draw you back into their web. Their charm and charisma can make it difficult to see through their true intentions, especially if they've perfected the art of playing the victim or portraying themselves as someone in need of your help. This is why it's so important to remain alert and grounded in your truth. Recognize that their attempts at reconciliation are not about repairing the relationship for your mutual benefit. They are about restoring the control they once had over you. To protect yourself, it's vital to understand the underlying patterns of their behavior and to trust your instincts. Pay attention to how their actions align, or fail to align, with their words. Be aware that their promises of change are often superficial, intended to lure you back rather than reflect genuine personal growth. Recognize their attempts to make you doubt yourself or to question the progress you've made without them. The more you understand their tactics, the easier it becomes to resist their pull and maintain the boundaries you've worked so hard to establish. One of the most unsettling aspects of a narcissist's return is their remarkable ability to appear genuine and sincere. They have an uncanny knack for identifying exactly what you need to hear and will tailor their words to fit your emotional vulnerabilities with precision. They may express deep regret for their past actions, acknowledge the harm they've caused, and promise to change in ways that seem heartfelt and convincing. This display can be incredibly persuasive, especially if you have a compassionate nature or a desire to see the good in others. Yet beneath this carefully constructed facade, their true intentions remain unchanged. Their goal is not reconciliation or growth. It is to re-establish control, reignite the toxic dynamics that serve their interests, and reinsert themselves into a position of dominance in your life. To navigate this situation effectively, it is crucial to understand that their outward expressions of remorse or change are often nothing more than manipulative tactics. Narcissists are experts at masking their true motives, and their ability to feign sincerity is one of their most powerful tools. They aim to lower your defenses, rekindle trust, and pull you back into their orbit before you have the chance to recognize the pattern. This is why it's essential to remain vigilant and critical of their words and actions, no matter how convincing they may appear. Protecting yourself starts with recognizing their behavior for what it is, a calculated attempt to reassert control. Setting firm boundaries is one of the most effective ways to protect yourself from falling back into their trap. Boundaries are not just rules. They are a declaration of your self-worth and a statement that you will no longer tolerate the manipulation and control they seek to impose. When you enforce these boundaries consistently, you send a clear message that their tactics no longer have the desired effect. This can be difficult, especially if the narcissist reacts with anger, guilt-tripping, or attempts to weigh you down. However, your ability to remain steadfast in your boundaries is a critical step toward reclaiming your independence and breaking free from their influence. Indifference is another powerful tool in your arsenal. Narcissists thrive on eliciting emotional reactions, whether positive or negative. When they realize that their actions no longer provoke the response they seek, they lose the leverage they rely on to manipulate you. This doesn't mean they will give up without a fight. Narcissists are persistent and will often escalate their tactics when they sense their control slipping. But every time you refuse to engage, every time you respond with calm detachment instead of emotional reactivity, you are taking back your power. You are showing them that their games no longer work on you. And this can be incredibly disarming to someone who depends on control. Building a strong support system is another critical step in fortifying yourself against a narcissist's return. One of their most insidious tactics is isolation, creating an environment where you feel as though you have no one else to turn to. They often work to sever your connections with friends, family, or anyone who might provide you with support and perspective. By consciously rebuilding or strengthening these connections, you create a network of trusted individuals who can offer guidance, encouragement, and accountability. This network acts as a protective barrier, reminding you of your worth and providing the emotional resilience needed to resist the narcissist's advances. Whether it's confiding in close friends, seeking the support of family members, or working with a therapist or counselor, surrounding yourself with people who have your best interests at heart is a powerful way to safeguard your well-being. It's also important to recognize that a narcissist's return does not signify failure on your part. Their persistence is not a reflection of your progress or strength, but rather a testament to their inability to let go. Narcissists are driven by an unrelenting need for control and validation, and they view your independence as a direct threat to their fragile sense of self. Their determination to re-enter your life is a sign of their own inability to accept boundaries, not a measure of your success in moving forward. By staying alert, prepared, and grounded in your sense of self-worth, you demonstrate that you are capable of protecting yourself and maintaining your autonomy. When the narcissist does reappear, one of their most common tactics is to rewrite history. They may attempt to downplay or outright deny their past actions, instead emphasizing the good times you shared or highlighting moments when they appeared to care for you. This selective memory is designed to confuse your emotions, making you question your own experiences and doubt the pain and turmoil they caused. This is where trusting your instincts becomes crucial. You know the truth of what happened. You've lived it. Don't allow their manipulative narratives to cloud your judgment or undermine the progress you've made. Hold on to the clarity of your experiences and resist the temptation to romanticize or excuse their behavior. Perhaps one of the most empowering realizations you can have is that you don't need the narcissist's validation or approval. Their return is not an indication of your value or importance in their life. It's a reflection of their own inability to cope with losing control. Use their return as an opportunity to reaffirm your boundaries, assert your independence, and reinforce the strength you've developed. By refusing to engage, you're not only protecting yourself, but also sending a clear message that their behavior is no longer acceptable. This act of self-preservation is a powerful step toward breaking free from their grip and reclaiming your life. Every time you stand firm, resist their advances, and prioritize your well-being, you are dismantling the toxic cycle they depend on. It may not be easy, and there may be moments when you feel tempted to give in to their appeals. But remember that your worth is not tied to their approval, and your happiness does not depend on their presence. You have the strength to move forward without them, and each step you take towards self-empowerment brings you closer to a life free from their influence. Their return is a challenge, but it's also an opportunity, a chance to prove to yourself that you are capable of standing strong, maintaining your independence, and building a future on your own terms. In conclusion, the narcissist's return is inevitable, but it doesn't have to disrupt your peace. By staying alert, setting boundaries, and surrounding yourself with support, you can navigate their reappearance with confidence and strength. Remember, their persistence is a reflection of their need for control, not your worth. You have the power to stand firm and protect your emotional well-being. Thank you for joining us in this exploration of narcissistic behavior and how to stay vigilant. If you found this information valuable, please like, subscribe, and share this video with others. Together, we can empower ourselves and build a community of resilience. Until next time, stay strong and stay prepared. 5 acts of justice from God towards wicked narcissist. Have you ever found yourself asking, why does the narcissist seem to get away with so much harm? It's a question that resonates with anyone who's endured the calculated cruelty of a narcissist. At first glance, it can feel like the narcissist's relentless pursuit of power and control leaves no room for justice. But here's where the story gets intriguing. Divine justice is neither rushed nor absent. Instead, it works in ways that are profound, precise, and transformative, not just for the narcissist, but for those affected by their wickedness. In this video, we'll uncover 5 remarkable acts of God's justice toward narcissists, each uniquely designed to confront their actions and bring clarity and healing to their victims. These acts of justice may not always be immediate, but they're undeniable in their impact. From exposing hidden lies to restoring the broken-hearted, divine justice reminds us that no one escapes accountability. Stick with me until the end, and you'll gain a deeper understanding of how God's justice operates and how it can empower you to rise above the pain inflicted by narcissists. But before we dive in, if you're seeking clarity, hope, and strength in understanding these dynamics, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with those who need encouragement. Let's spread awareness, build resilience, and explore the truth together. Now, let's begin. Narcissists thrive on maintaining an illusion of power that they've carefully crafted to project charm, confidence, and control. This persona serves to cover up their insecurities, their deep sense of emptiness, and their fear of being exposed for who they truly are. For the narcissist, deception is not just a tool, it is a fundamental part of their survival strategy. They need to manipulate those around them to uphold this image, constantly distorting the truth and creating false narratives. In doing so, they leave behind a trail of emotional devastation, wrecking the lives of those who come into contact with them. Their world is one of carefully constructed lies, and they will do anything to protect that facade, even if it means destroying others in the process. However, despite their cunning and manipulative behavior, narcissists are not beyond the reach of divine justice. The justice that comes from a higher power operates on a deeper level than they could ever comprehend. It targets the very core of what keeps their illusion intact: secrecy, pride, and control. These are the foundations of their power, and it is on these foundations that the divine strikes. This is where the first act of divine justice takes place, and it is a powerful one. 1. Exposure, bringing darkness to light. One of the most profound ways that divine justice unfolds is through the exposure of hidden truths. Narcissists depend on secrecy to fuel their manipulative tactics. They weave intricate webs of lies, create deceptive stories, and obscure their true intentions behind a polished image that others buy into. They operate in the shadows, believing that their secrets will remain hidden and that they can continue to manipulate without consequence. But the divine has a way of bringing light to these dark places. Think about times when a narcissist's carefully constructed web of deceit was suddenly unraveled. Perhaps a lie they told was brought to light in a way that they couldn't escape, or someone they had underestimated uncovered the truth, revealing their manipulative behavior. These moments of exposure are not coincidences. They are deliberate acts of divine justice. The act of exposure shakes the narcissist's foundation, forcing them to confront the truth they have worked so hard to suppress. It reveals their lies, strips away their false persona, and exposes them for who they truly are. The power of exposure lies not only in the truth itself, but in its impeccable timing. It might feel as though the narcissist's lies are allowed to go unchecked for far too long, but exposure often strikes at the most critical moment, catching them off guard. It disrupts their carefully laid plans and forces their victims to see the reality they have been blinded from. In this way, divine justice serves to show us that no lie can remain hidden forever, and truth has a way of revealing itself when we least expect it. 2. Humbling the proud. If there is one thing that narcissists cannot tolerate, it is being humbled. Their inflated sense of self is their most prized asset, but it is also their greatest vulnerability. They need constant admiration and validation, and they cannot bear any situation that challenges their perceived superiority. This is where the second act of divine justice comes in. It is the act of humbling the proud. Throughout spiritual teachings and scripture, we see clear examples of how God opposes the proud and elevates the humble. For the narcissist, this act of divine justice manifests in ways that force them to confront their limitations, their failures, and their flaws. The narcissist, who once seemed invincible and untouchable, is often struck by unexpected circumstances that challenge their sense of superiority. It could be a public failure, a loss of status, or a sudden turn of events that leaves them vulnerable and exposed. These humbling experiences shake the very core of their self-image and force them to see themselves in a different light. While they may resist acknowledging these moments as humbling experiences, the impact remains undeniable. The narcissist may try to defend their inflated ego, but the truth of their limitations will inevitably catch up with them. What is most fascinating about this act of divine justice is that it not only disrupts the narcissist's grip on control, but also presents an opportunity for growth and change. Although many narcissists are resistant to self-reflection, the experience of being humbled can serve as a powerful reminder that no one is above the law of accountability. The act of being humbled strips away the illusion of invincibility, leaving the narcissist to confront the reality of their behavior. It serves as a wake-up call, challenging them to reflect on their actions, their values, and their true character. Whether or not they choose to learn from this experience is up to them, but the act of humbling remains a crucial component of divine justice. 3. Spiritual reckoning. Although narcissists may seem to avoid facing consequences in their earthly lives, it is crucial to understand that God's justice extends far beyond the confines of the physical realm. The Bible repeatedly emphasizes that the actions of those who live wickedly, including narcissists, will not go unaddressed in the spiritual dimension. For the narcissist, whose actions are deeply rooted in pride, deception, and the exploitation of others, a spiritual reckoning is not only inevitable, but profoundly personal. It is an encounter with divine justice that cannot be evaded or delayed. Spiritual reckoning often begins with an unsettling internal unrest that the narcissist cannot ignore, no matter how hard they try to suppress it. These moments can manifest as feelings of guilt, fear, emptiness, or even deep anxiety, emotions that disrupt their meticulously crafted false personas. Narcissists often rely on their grandiose self-image to shield them from uncomfortable truths, but these internal struggles serve as poignant reminders that their actions have eternal consequences. Despite their best efforts to avoid facing accountability in their relationships or their actions on earth, they will ultimately be confronted by the inescapable judgment of God. This aspect of divine justice serves as a powerful reminder to all that no one, no matter how skilled they may be in deception or manipulation, is beyond the reach of God's judgment. Narcissists may thrive in their ability to manipulate others and maintain control over their earthly relationships, but they cannot manipulate or escape the divine justice that awaits them. It is a justice that operates on a level far beyond their understanding or ability to influence, and it is an essential part of the cosmic balance that ensures that truth and righteousness prevail in the end. 4. Restoration of the victims. Divine justice is not only about confronting the narcissist and holding them accountable for their actions. It also deeply focuses on the healing and restoration of those who have been harmed by their cruelty. Victims of narcissistic abuse often endure profound emotional and spiritual damage that can leave lasting scars on their psyche. This abuse is not only destructive on a psychological level, but can also deeply affect one's spiritual well-being. Because of this, restoration becomes an essential and inseparable part of divine justice. It is through this restoration that victims can find healing and experience a new sense of wholeness and strength, which is crucial for their long-term well-being. The process of God's restoration typically begins with inner healing. Over time, as the divine works in their lives, victims may start to notice a shift in their emotional and spiritual state. They may begin to experience a sense of peace, strength, and resilience that they never thought possible before. Through these quiet yet powerful shifts, victims can start rebuilding the parts of their lives that were shattered by the narcissist's actions. This restoration might manifest in new relationships that bring support, love, and genuine connection. It could also show up in new opportunities for personal growth or spiritual development that reflect God's commitment to their healing and overall well-being. What makes this aspect of divine justice particularly beautiful and transformative is how it turns pain into purpose. Victims who were once caught in the narcissist's cycle of manipulation often emerge from this suffering stronger, wiser, and more grounded in their faith. This healing process doesn't just restore the individual to their former state. It takes them to a place of greater wisdom and spiritual depth. Their journey of healing becomes a testimony of God's power and justice, serving as proof that even in the face of deep emotional wounds, divine justice is capable of bringing restoration, renewal, and growth. In this way, the very wounds inflicted by the narcissist become the catalyst for a deeper connection with God and a newfound sense of empowerment. 5. Empowering the oppressed. The final act of divine justice focuses on empowering those who have been oppressed and victimized by narcissists. This empowerment is a deeply transformative process that takes many forms. For victims of narcissistic abuse, empowerment means finding their voice again, reclaiming their sense of self-worth, and regaining the confidence that was stolen from them. It is a reminder that they are not defined by the narcissist's actions or words, but by their own inherent strength, resilience, and connection to a higher power. As the healing process unfolds, this empowerment is often experienced as a shift in perspective. Victims may start to see themselves in a new light, no longer as passive recipients of manipulation or control, but as individuals with the strength and wisdom to navigate life on their own terms. This shift in self-perception is often accompanied by newfound clarity and insight that allows them to make healthier decisions in future relationships and situations. With this clarity comes the courage to set boundaries, stand firm in their convictions, and rise above the toxic patterns they once found themselves trapped in. This divine empowerment is a clear indication that justice is not merely about retribution or punishment. While the narcissist faces the consequences of their actions, those who have suffered under their oppressive control are empowered to rise above the pain and injustice they endured. Empowerment through divine justice is about renewal and transformation. It's about taking the broken pieces of one's life and creating something stronger, more resilient, and more aligned with one's true purpose. The power of God's justice lies not only in its ability to punish evil, but in its capacity to heal and transform those who have been hurt by it. This empowerment is the ultimate reminder that no matter how long a narcissist's reign of manipulation may last, the divine is always at work bringing healing, renewal, and the restoration of power to those who have been oppressed. Thank you for taking the time to explore this important topic. If you found strength or clarity in these insights, please like, subscribe, and share this video with others who might benefit from it. Your support helps build a community of resilience and hope, reminding us all that divine justice is always at work. Stay strong, stay hopeful, and remember, God's justice is not only